All right, I think we just started.
Should I see it on here?
Yeah.
Let's wait till I see it on here.
Here we go. Welcome to the Rocket Jump Film School stream.
Real? Are you sure?
I don't know. I just hit start.
Well,
Let's see.
Receiving the content. We're live.
Did you see us?
No, but it says we're live. Let me refresh.
It's always.
There it goes.
It's always exciting. Oh, we're on. We're live. This is always exciting. Hello, welcome.
Do you know what you're doing?
No, I'm not sure how to see it over here.
Maybe
welcome. I'm just gonna figure it out. While y'all get into the chat, how's your Thursday?
Oh my god.
Talk to yourselves. My Thursday's going good. I'll talk to myself. Channel.
Okay, I think we should just talk.
We are.
I mean, like, present ourselves. Hey everybody!
Do it.
We're the Rocket Jump Film School.
Sounds good.
This is Joey.
Hi.
I'm Cherish. And it's a little bit of a smaller team today, but we're in the chat talking about editing. If you didn't see, we released a video this morning called the Orson Welles Memo, and Joey worked very, very hard on this.
Yes.
A lot of late nights, but it's kind of a passion video. We've never used that term before.
Yeah, it was. This one was inspired. I was trying to find something to do on Orson Welles, and I was like going through all these documentaries and interviews and whatnot, and originally just thinking of like, he made his first film when he was, 24, 25?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, well, there's a lot of young filmmakers out in our audience. Let's like try and dig up some of that stuff, and then found out about the memo through all that, and then was like, this is it. This is what I got to do.
So if you guys haven't seen that video, check it out sometime soon.
Yes, we're going to be sort of referencing that today, so feel free to watch it, ask questions, or we'll sort of start to pick it apart in more detail here as we go.
I am in the chat on my laptop, so if you see me looking down, that's why, because I'm reading what you guys are doing.
Oh, hello.
They like your hat, Joey.
Oh, thanks. My mom got this for me for Christmas. I can see the stream now. Sort of.
Okay.
Refresh this too.
Okay. So,
All
what
right.
are we doing?
Oh, what are we doing? Okay, well, good. It's Thursday, and right now we can, we could just sort of talk.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Well, okay, so just as
Who saw the video? Did you guys all do your homework?
I mean, it's a long video. I don't want to ask them to go see it now.
Yeah, we're not going to watch it now, but
Yeah.
if you have seen it, did you like it? Was it okay? Ask us.
They're saying, loved your video. Thank you so much, Ruby Spark. Ness Yanes says, you're amazing, guys. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Wow, you guys are awesome. Cool.
This is amazing. You guys rad.
Yeah, let's just.
Rod? I don't know.
We'll ease into it. We'll let people sort of jump in.
I think we should warn you that we're a little goofy today, too.
Well, most days. We just happen to be, seated down. Sit down. Every time I do a video essay, I always have everyone in the office sort of correct my grammar, which is good.
Do a grammar pass. We do a grammar pass for a lot of people.
We do a grammar pass. It's like...
Do you want a little orange?
No thanks. I got my cup. Cheers, everyone.
Anyway, I shouldn't talk with my mouth full.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys go back and, watch it again with new eyes, or watch more of his stuff, Orson Welles, or any other film noirs. Like, it's a really cool genre. And unfortunately, a lot of my younger cousins and stuff, that whole generation, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people are put off by black and white films. So I feel like that's always sort of the first hurdle that you have to get through, is accept the fact that it's black and white, and that it's that there's still really good stories and things you could do with that. Okay, what kind of questions do we have?
Okay, this is an editing question from Zach Levin, not explicitly about the video.
Okay.
But he asks, if you've seen Spectre, is the opening shot really a single shot, or do you think it was just clever editing? Have you seen Spectre, Joey?
Spectre is the Mexico City...
The Day of the Dead open?
I believe... I watched it with... I think I saw it with a lot of you all.
Did we see it together? I hated it.
At Rocket Jump?
Yeah.
I think some of us in the office all went, and I think we were talking about that opening shot. I do believe that they had hid a few cuts in that opening shot. I don't know precisely where they were hidden, but I do believe that it was stitched together at 2 or 3 points. It's been a while since I've seen it. So yeah, there and whip pans and again people crossing frames, stuff like that. I believe all those sort of tricks were used in hiding those cuts to make it appear to be continuous. But
yeah, we got lots of good questions.
Hey.
Good questions. So yeah, Zach Levin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a few cuts too. I mean, it's still a really impressive single shot.
Oh
single
yeah.
Shot, but
it was a good way to start the film. I think they started on a high note and then the rest of the film.
If there's an octopus in the credit sequence, there should have been more octopi in the movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Cherish is a big fan of octopus.
They're the closest things we have to intelligent alien life. Anyway, Brian Wadacore asks, being a video teacher, how can I get my students excited to edit?
Ooh, that's a good question. Excited to edit.
How do you get us? I mean, I think it's passionate. You're very passionate. Joe.
Yeah, I mean, that's really tough because I guess it would sort of depend on the things they're editing. First off, in high school, I always sort of took the lead on editing just because I was willing to actually put in the insane amount of time that it takes to edit something. So, that's always the first thing is you find out who in the class is willing to put in that time. Then you'll find that more people will get excited just based off of what they are actually working on. So, what kind of stuff are you doing? I don't know. If it's their own projects, then maybe that's a little more incentive. If it's not, it's hard to actually make someone passionate about something. So that's always tough, especially with younger kids. They everyone is, has their own needs or wants or whatever else. I'm not sure how to phrase that. Like, I always keep going back to my cousin. She doesn't like the idea of watching Star Wars because she thinks it's for nerds. You can't get around that. You can't tell her that it's a good movie.
Well, now it's cool to like Star Wars.
That's what I was saying. Now that Force Awakens came out and Rogue One, that all of her friends are going, she has to sort of set aside her own whatever. That's a nice cup. Look at that mug. See that? I don't know if we're selling that.
No, we can't sell that.
We can't sell that.
It's a big cup.
Yeah, but what is that when you sort of when you don't know something about a subject? Is it just ignorance? When you don't know about a subject?
Willful ignorance is when you just are almost like...
I'm not going to give that a try.
Purposely don't want to learn about it.
Yeah. So I don't know how that relates to quite back into... trying to willfully make someone passionate about something, because oftentimes,
so many.
I mean, with me, I always chose not to do things that I was forced to do. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe don't
force it on them.
Maybe don't force it on them. Maybe just sort of expect more out of them so that they find it within themselves to want to push. I don't know, something like that.
I think editing, as we found, has been one of the hardest things to teach, right?
Yes.
And so I think, so when I went to film school, and I think you probably learned the same way, you just learn by doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think editing is a really specific thing that only a specific person is going to become passionate about, because it's hard to just demonstrate how magical an effect it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it is it's what makes film. It is definitive of the medium. It's that's what the difference between a painting
mm-hmm.
and a movie is, right? It's the ability to edit, honestly.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little long-winded, but I think it is explaining to them why it's such a crucial process in the filmmaking,
mm-hmm.
and then just giving them exercises. I remember I got dailies.
Yeah.
From I think it was it was a movie that my editing teacher had worked on, and
mm-hmm.
it was a scene or something, and then he just gave us the pieces, and then we were just playing around with it,
mm-hmm.
and Joey did a video on the Die Hard DVD where there's pieces of the dailies that you could edit with.
Yeah.
So it's just like giving them resources to just go and start editing,
Mm-hmm.
and then just really instill the importance of why it is so crucial. It's just as important as writing, and those are the two. I honestly think writing and editing are the hardest parts of filmmaking.
Yeah. Yeah. As you've seen with those are all good points. I think with writing and editing, like your documentary stuff, you are always rewriting it in the edit and stuff, which is what I found to be really, really difficult. But you always need like an obsessive type of brain too to really stress over like the meticulousness of it at the same time. Not everyone has that. So a lot of people will be like, it's good enough, and those people aren't editors.
Yeah.
Because like it's never good enough. The video already came up today. Hey! Ow! You hit me in the eye.
You got hit in the eye?
Yeah, I got hit in the eye.
Oh God.
Wow.
You good?
It's a doozy of a day.
Wow.
Were we really dragging it on? We were trying to not.
No, we were.
Jeez,
weren't
were we that awful?
Trish
She
was
just
like,
got
"Watch out."
executed.
I'm like, for what? And then
Just
then
got
you guys
straight
opened
up-
the door.
Straight
I
up
was like,
executed, you
Trisha.
guys. Hey, everyone, say hello. Now,
say
now,
hi.
now.
What's up, guys?
Interruption here.
Yo, you gonna give me my ammo back or what, dude?
Dude, you get your own ammo,
You don't get to
man.
attack somebody and then ask for
You
your
don't get to
ammo back.
hijack the stream.
No,
and
these are mine now.
Fine.
These are all mine.
Here, let me
just
get-
another day at Rocket Jump.
Joey, stop moving. Joey, stop moving.
What do you want me to do? I'm not moving. It's a rotating chair.
Clint, get out of here.
Wait, when I said to drop by, this is kind of not exactly what I meant.
Oh my God, you guys are just raiding us.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm out.
All right.
Oh my God,
Careful.
get off of me!
All right.
Give me the tube. Give me the tube.
You're ruining strangers. No, come on.
All right.
Anyway,
Well,
hi.
where were we?
We're talking about editing.
That's a good way to just segue into something else.
Yeah, that was. I think we were going on that question.
Thanks, guys.
Talk about segments.
Oh, lost the camera.
Well, that was just brilliant.
Cherish, I'm gonna hand this up to you.
Okay, we're gonna get a weird view of Joey's desk right now.
Alright, grab it.
Get out, Clint!
Did you watch the video yet, Clint? Seriously, dude.
Yeah, what are you doing? Why are you just waiting back there?
Crap, God. Thought you wouldn't notice.
Thought we wouldn't notice you hiding there?
Go watch the video,
Get
Clint.
out! Get out! No more
me out.
bullets for you. Get out.
Jesus. Oh,
Is it working?
Whew.
Is it okay?
I don't know.
I
I don't know if we can recover.
I feel like we should check the chat.
Can you recover from that?
All right, where are we at, Clint? Boy.
Alright, I'm out.
Oh my God.
All right, thanks for stopping
Thanks
by.
for
Go watch the video, dude.
Alright.
I spent so long making
I know,
it, and
I
if
know.
you don't watch it, I'm seriously gonna do
Cry.
worse than you just did to me.
Okay.
And that's a weird, vague threat.
Alright.
I understand that. Okay.
Oh my
There's like
gosh.
5 rounds on the couch. It's like a
Oh, dude.
jackpot up in here.
Dude, Jack.
No, those are mine! I'm gonna,
Watch the video.
well,
We love each other.
that was a lot.
You hear my weird, vague threat? What should I do to him if he doesn't watch it by the end of the day?
I
Guys.
think we should dip something of his in the toilet and not tell him what.
Dip something of his in the toilet?
Yeah,
All right. You're an only child.
I am. Why? Why is that bad? That's good.
That's not like a thing. You don't dip things in the toilet.
What? You don't dip things in the toilet?
Oh, okay.
Thanks for the great question, Brian.
Any other questions?
Okay,
What did we
there's a-
miss while we got attacked?
There's so many good questions. There's so many.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go from the bottom up. Okay, that's a pre-pro question. It's a good question in Slacker Shack, but I'm gonna keep moving. Me Can Do the English asks, when editing a scene where actors are both in front of a green screen, synonymous to keep off the grass, would you add the backgrounds before editing? So it's like a VFX question. How do you?
Would you add the backgrounds before editing?
I think you usually
No,
you
no,
do
no.
picture lock first.
Yeah.
You finish your editing and then you do VFX.
Yes. That's all. That's very important. It'll be really hard to sort of use your imagination while you're picture locking because anything could be that background at that point. But you need to get the timing for how long that background will need to be there. Obviously, so you don't do more work doing the background and stuff like that. I hope that makes sense.
Oh my god, I can't even read everything right now.
Gosh,
so
my adrenaline is still
I'm like
on fire.
amped. Yeah, like I wanna scare those boys. I don't know.
Yeah. Too bad we're locked into my computer. Otherwise, we'd go make a run right now.
Okay, so
Next time.
Jordan had a good question, which was Jordan Newsom. Do you think it's a good idea to watch films that inspire you when trying to learn how to edit? I would say absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time it's just okay. So, for example, I saw The Shining when I was really young, and it scared me so much that every time I've watched it, it's just the pursuit to understand like how it gave me that initial feeling, right? So what camera angles and what sounds and what things like helped build that initial terror that I had the first time I saw it. So you do that with any film that you're inspired about, I hope, is to just sort of keep examining it, you know. It's always sort of study and break down like how that film whatever film inspired you or whatever affected you and how it did it the first time. Trying to understand that. It's not easy. It's really not.
It's also really hard. It is hard watching a movie for the editing. Because I don't know if this is true, or accurate rather, but I always think of editing as like learning negative space because you're looking for the lack of like stuff. You know, you're cutting things.
Yeah.
So it's really I don't know. It's really hard to learn. I think the only way to do it is really exercise. On that note, someone did ask a really good question. Were you done? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. I think even still, it's hard to know if you're editing something, if it is going to have that effect on an audience. Right. So that's why the screening comes in to like.
Good point.
Because you could be building out those trying to replicate or capture that feeling that you're trying to give, but unless you screen it for people who aren't that close to it, and like that's why I like watching things with Will. Because when Will sits here, like I can hear him say like, ooh!
Yeah, he reacts.
You know, he reacts and that's the type, then you know that what you've been editing is working, or at least has the effect that you're going for. So,
for sure.
So there's like, the audience is so important to know whether or not it's you're doing
it's important
correctly,
especially as an editor, to get feedback through screenings.
Yeah,
it's a crucial part of like learning how to get better.
Oh yeah.
The related question was from Bad Bats Bobby, which is a great username, which is question: what's the best place to find footage to practice editing? Which I would say the best way is to shoot it yourself, obviously. And I mean you can use like you can shoot and edit on a phone nowadays. You know, it's crazy on your smartphone. But I mean I think that's always the most ideal. It could be a super simple scene of like your friends just doing a really simple action scene, you know, or just like dinner table scenes, dinner party scenes are notoriously hard to cut. So you could just get your family to sit at dinner and then shoot a little scene of them and practice.
Start cutting it together.
Other places though, I don't know.
Well, here's an idea. Is like if you don't have footage, there's a lot of stock footage available somewhere on Pond 5 and any Shutterstock and other places like that. Like just surf around for footage, and then maybe you can build in that that type of thing into whatever you could shoot to add to sort of the full world of stuff. I don't know. There's editing stock footage together. I remember that scene in Ed Wood where he's like, gosh, I'd make a whole movie out of this stock footage if I could. And he pretty much did. Most of his movies were using other materials.
Oh my gosh, we got so many good questions.
Good questions. Hey, thanks for joining us, guys.
You guys are just doing a really great job with these questions.
If you're just now joining us, it's Cherish and I. We released a video today on editing. We used the Orson Welles memo for Touch of Evil as our sort of example. Yeah. It comes on the Blu-ray here. The memo comes as like a booklet. that you can get. But online, we provided a link on the video. There is a full breakdown of this memo, and it actually includes the types of notes that Universal did correct and other things like that throughout the movie. And what's really interesting about this is he saw a cut of theirs and wrote this entire thing only based off of one viewing of the film, you know, so he had jotted down all these notes or just remembered all of them in such detail to be able to really give prescriptive notes, because he knew that he wasn't going to be in the editing room to see them implemented, which is why it's so detailed.
No!
Oh.
Oh,
This.
that's
Oh,
protection?
we need some
again.
defense.
Oh my gosh, keep our
Kate-
protection.
Kate came in with the big guns.
The massacre.
Yes.
I didn't
Oh my
enjoy it. So
God.
here's a spare ammo.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'll
good.
just keep it ready.
Belt.
An ammo belt.
It's locked and loaded.
Okay.
So you
Awesome.
can just-
How do you shoot?
Say hi to
so it's,
Kate, everyone.
hey guys. So you just pull back on that,
Okay.
and then the trigger's back here.
Oh
Whoa.
my God,
It
okay.
feeds the belt.
That's
Okay.
gonna get jammed.
Alright, we're
It
ready.
does.
That's gonna get jammed up
Thank
pretty
you,
quick.
Kate.
I feel like we're gonna get hit again.
I
There's
know, I feel
there's
like
only
they're
one way.
reloading.
All right.
I'm worried.
There's only that can only mean bad things.
Yeah, why is she ammoing us
I
up,
don't know.
huh?
Who knows? Can we have the door open? Like, there's really. We
You
gotta
wanna?
see that coming again. Yeah, I don't want just the
Then have
door.
Then open the door.
I'm gonna open the door. I don't want just like a big time surprise like that again.
Big time surprise.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise.
Okay,
All right,
got more questions. Good questions. Okay.
only got that many.
Sheriff Tolba asks, can I use music to determine the pace of my edit? I can't edit unless I have the music. Which I think is just a really good
Yeah, I think that's.
question about editing with music. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people are like that.
I think that's a good idea. I certainly have edited things where I wasn't feeling it. You know, you got to have something to cut to, or you put on some music just in the background. It might not even be in your timeline when you're editing, just to sort of set the tone. For D404, I remember we were just collecting.
Whoops.
We were just collecting soundtracks of things that we thought might fit the vibe of the show, right? You know, you just sort of, and then you would listen to that as you would write or edit or do anything else creatively. You set your own tone and mood for whatever you're doing. That's helpful. It can be helpful at times, for sure.
I think, and to that point I would add, I think a lot of editors just are different. There's no right or wrong way to edit as long as the results are what you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I used to work in movie trailers, which I saw a question about trailers, which I would love to get to. If I don't get to that one, whoever asked a question about trailers, go to our forums, discuss.rocketjoke.com, and tag me. So it's just @Cherish, and I will be happy to answer any questions about trailers. But the thing about editing with music is everybody edits differently. Like a lot of trailer editors I knew would really they would be able to like lay things out, but you wouldn't be able to tweak or finesse or get anywhere close without knowing exactly which piece of music you're using.
Yeah.
So
It's certainly not for every project. It's definitely case by case. I'm sure it wasn't for every trailer.
Yeah, because if you're doing a scene without any music, or
Yeah.
you're doing something narrative or documentary, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have music, then you don't need it then, obviously. But
The worst thing is to cut something so well to one song and then not be able to use that song, and the whole thing doesn't work anymore. That's heartbreaking.
I would say though, if you feel like you can't edit without music, I would really suggest practicing editing without music just so you can get better at it, because there are definitely scenarios where you're gonna have to know how to do that. So just a little heads up.
Greg, I see your question there. I just got a standing desk.
What was the question?
Do I stand up and edit like Walter Murch? And I do. I do now. I've done it since we got back from the new year. It's been great. I got a little mat to stand on. Right now we're just, you put this down, you have some good posture and stuff like that. Yeah, you stand on the mat, you get, so you don't blow out your back, blow it out the back. And it took some getting used to, and you got to remember to bend your knees, but it's certainly been, it's been weird to stand. You know,
good.
because my whole life I've been editing sitting down, so you sort of have to like psychologically like retrain yourself to work in a new position.
I mean, it seemed pretty natural for you, though.
Because, you know, I used to edit, and this was the editing chair that I edited in for Video Game High School, and having seen Freddie and stuff, I used to edit with my feet up on the desk like this, and this is how Freddie goes like way back. Freddie's just like straight up laying down when he edits.
This chair won't even go that far.
Yeah.
Or he's sometimes like this.
Yeah. Yeah, Freddie does this, where he has like his hands on his stomach, and then he edits with like the ball, and he's got like 10 monitors.
But like lower.
But way lower.
Turtles.
And often I would try and find a way to have my monitors over here so I could put my feet up on this side and do all that jazz. And that was just sort of how I had my desk configured.
Ready for the next question?
Yeah. But standing up is definitely good. I feel like I'm working my core even though I'm not.
Standing doesn't work your core.
That's what they said.
Who said that? That it doesn't?
They.
Who's they?
Trisha.
I don't know about that. Okay, this was a good question. Twim Burrows is your username. How would you go about cutting a conversation with 3 people? How do you stay faithful to the 180-degree rule? Which we have talked about.
You can break it with 3 people because each person you reestablish the line every time you cut in a way, without it being confusing. That might sound strange, but there's always that. Okay, so there's that sequence in like Pulp Fiction when the waitress comes up. They're doing a conversation where the camera's on this side and they have Tim Roth and the Arquette. Forget her name. Is it Patricia? Rosanna. Is it her?
Which
no.
movie?
Shoot, I can't
Which
remember.
movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. They're in the diner, right? And then the waitress comes up. The camera's over here while they're talking. And when the waitress comes up, the camera jumps the line over here and shoots up that way. So that's
You're kind of establishing a new line.
Yeah, it's a new line, and then and it cuts fine. You know, I don't know what it is, but you can. That's probably the.
Well, I mean, we talked about this with the which video was it? Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah,
yes.
where it's like we get into the 180-degree rule a little bit, and in it we talk about when other factors come in, you can reestablish new lines with either blocking or if another person comes in and now, like you said, if there's a 3-person scene, like one set of people has a line.
Oh, that would have been a good example to show when someone else comes in for that.
We also kind of talk about it in the shots versus setups video because that's that's 2 people sitting down.
We essentially did that same thing.
And then a waitress or a 3rd person comes in and then they have their new line. So shots versus setups is a good video.
Yeah,
where we talk about that.
That was
Amanda Plummer. That's what they're saying.
Amanda Plummer, thank you. Yes, that's her. Thank you. Good going out there. Oh, hey, it's Kate.
Yeah, Kate's in here. Hey, Kate. Thank you.
Thanks for the gun.
Yeah. Do you want another question?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's from Peter PT. What's easier, telling a composer they have to write a new cue because of the changes in the edit, or convincing an editor that the music should stay the way it is?
A lot of music questions. We've been getting some good or some comments on how we should do a music video.
We should do.
Not a music video, a video about music. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
we could do a music video.
I think we could too, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so how what was that question, and how can we answer it based off of
I think
our
it's
experience?
I mean neither is really. This is kind of like a directing and producing question, I think. You're basically balancing your composer's workload with your editor's workload. The question was, do you want me to read it again?
Yeah, one more time.
What's easier, telling a composer they have to write a new cue because of the changes in the edit, or convincing an editor that the music should stay the way it is? And my answer is whatever is best for the movie and whatever is most aligned with the director's vision.
Yeah. I mean, the only other case scenario where I can think an editor has made a cut or changed the cut based off the music was E.T. because John Williams said that last chase sequence is 12 minutes of just straight music, and he couldn't quite hit every cut, every beat that he needed to, and they had done it take after take. You know, it's 12 minutes, and there's a lot of different music cues to hit, and Spielberg finally said, like, just play it as best as you can, and I will make I will cut the film to what you do, and that's the only other time where I've heard that type of or like leeway between the picture lock cut versus the composer getting that sort of okay to.
I mean, I think that's a healthy work collaboration.
Yeah, you sort of you go back and forth based off of their needs in that case.
I would say if you're a nice person, then neither is easier. It is usually whoever's maybe is the composer nicer or the editor nicer.
Yeah.
Or if they're both nice, then not hard at all. Then very easy.
Who's less likely to blow up when you ask them?
Yeah.
I haven't seen La La Land yet. I will see that tonight.
We're watching it tonight.
Yes.
I've seen it though. Peter says he knows that story, the John Williams story. Of course he does. Of course you do.
Yeah, that's a good story. I think, right? I like it. I always think that was really charming.
It was very charming.
Because, gosh, that's such a good piece of music, and I'm glad that, it worked, because the harmony between the sound and images, I still get the chills thinking about that soundtrack sometimes.
Jordan asked a good question.
Okay, what do we got?
Newsom asked, do you often, I lost the actual question, but he said, do you often take breaks so that you keep your perspective on edits fresh?
Yes, but however, my breaks are at the end of the day. I work all through the day, and then if I reach a good stopping point, like say I was really struggling with that cross-cutting sequence for this video, how do you demonstrate how these clips are moving around? That really took a long time to visualize until it finally clicked, and then I was like, oh, duh. But that took all day, and then I stepped away from it, and then I came back the next day, and you sort of have a different perspective on it. You bring other people in to see if it's tracking, if it's making sense, and having a good opportunity to step away from a problem or just getting over that, finding a good stopping place is always good to not push yourself too far. There's no need.
And for you, it's the end of the day, but for some people, it's like, honestly, what's best for your eyes is like for every hour, you're supposed to take a 5-minute break to rest your eyes and not look at a screen.
Also, these Gunner glasses have really helped. I haven't been wearing them as much as since I've gone back, but honestly, staring at monitors for the last 2 years straight, pretty much, I haven't done that to this extent that I have been since I've joined the film school. The weekly looking at monitors has really taken a toll. So you're gonna see a heck of a reflection on that. I'm like, oh,
so cool,
dude. Hey, I said hecka.
Hecka.
But these have actually really helped. I don't know if it's a placebo thing, but my eyes feel better from just the strain of this subliminal type of flickering or whatever happens with monitors that your eyes can't really see. But over time, it starts to take a toll.
Yeah.
Because by the end, like when I join the real world and I'm like, oh God, and I've been staring at monitors, it's like really hard to focus on real people and the reality of being outside. Whenever we go out to lunch at the end of the day, or in the middle of the day, middle of the day. Yeah.
Breaks are important.
Breaks are important. Just take breaks.
But also your question was to get fresh eyes on your edit.
Yes.
I think that goes hand in hand with what Joey's saying, is like showing it to people a lot. I mean, that's really important as an editor.
Yeah, just show your cuts. See if what your intention is editing the thing is coming across. Do
you want to answer Zach Butler's question in here?
What is it?
I'm going to work on a documentary next year that's shooting for 6 months. Any thoughts on managing a project with tons and tons of footage? That's a good question.
That's a good question.
He's not here right now.
Yeah. I would try to log your footage as you go. When we are shooting ongoing stuff, like when we followed Blarkinsung on set, we would label each day in a folder. We would date everything. Certainly date everything if it's ongoing, and sort of give a description of what that card is or whatever is on that footage. It'll be easier to sort through later, and then you could even do that within all of your clips that you will get from that card. So you could be like, this is so and so in the recording booth, blah blah blah. This is so and so building that part of the set. I don't know what you're documenting, but you can get down to that finite detail and honestly just start logging things earlier as opposed to trying to sort it all out when you sit down to edit. So that's what I recommend.
Stay organized.
Stay organized. Date everything.
Super important.
Yes. Good questions, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on Thursday.
Yeah. We're totally planning on showing like more clips of the movie Touch of Evil.
Yeah, if you guys are all interested, I mean, we can keep answering questions, but we do have we could play fuller, more scenes out that if you want to get a glimpse.
I feel like we're getting so many questions.
If you want to watch, what was it? Like we can compare and contrast like the full title sequence in full if we want to do that. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know. We could play both versions in their entirety, not the film, but the sequences that we went into. Let us know. We'll sort of take a vote later.
Yeah, like if any of you want to do that, just say it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just keep answering questions because there's so many.
Yeah.
Bop. There was an interesting question up here about Aveline asks, do you have some abstract structures you apply to scenes to set up the flow or the cuts? For example, in a scene like the introducing the scene for the viewer so he knows where we are. I guess like any like general terms for like.
Is that just an establishing shot? What?
Yeah, I guess like maybe the question is just like what are some terms that are.
Can you read it again?
It's kind of a little hard to word out. So like.
Who said it?
Aveline.
Aveline.
Their avatar is a big A. Do you have some abstract structures you apply to scenes to set up the flow? For example, in a scene, intro the scene for the viewer so he knows where we are. Or example, like I guess like a formula is what this person is asking. Is there ever a formula to editing like intro, show character and scene, explain conflict, resolve? And I would say I don't think so. It's so
well, okay, so that's hard to say just because each scene could be completely different. So what part of my method was whenever I'd start a new scene, and this might not go for everyone, but I would sort of go back to the script. I would, if I didn't know what the scene was, I would read the script first, and I would sort of try and visualize what kind of shots were, like how do I see that scene just based off reading the script, not even looking at the footage, and then I go into the project and look to see if that footage is in there the way the way I sort of visualized it, and that's kind of a fun game to play, especially if you weren't there on set, is if you could go to the script and then see you can then clearly see based off of the footage what the intention of the director was, hopefully, and how they saw it, so then you could start to put it together that way. But if the footage is there that you had seen, then you're obviously on the right instinct, and then just start putting together how you had visualized it based off of the script. That would be my advice just for any scene, because each scene could start completely different. So read each scene as you get to each scene, perhaps, or obviously one scene could end and then flow into another in a way that the script might not have intended. So sort of balance the two between what you're putting together and what was on the page. So I hope that helps.
That was helpful.
It's broad, but I feel like that could still be applied.
Great. Evelyn says nice, thank you.
Cool.
We are getting a couple people we're getting a lot of questions, but a couple people did say they'd be into seeing scenes.
Oh, sweet.
So I'd say let's answer
a
few
few
more
more
questions,
and then we'll start.
And then we'll go into scenes a little bit and see where that takes us.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Talk Sweet had a really great question.
Okay.
Talk Sweet asks, if you are unsure if you should cut something out or not, are there any questions to ask yourself to figure out the answer?
Honestly, cut it and then ask yourself if you miss it later. That's honestly what we do. I think it's very healthy to not be attached to things, especially. That's really hard. I mean, we did for Dude Bro. I don't know if you guys saw our feature Dude Bro Party. Brian Ferenzi kicked his butt, editing this film on a laptop, and he crashed his laptop 4 or 5 times, or countless times, dozens of times. It was a lot of footage. And then we started going through and picture locking it, right? And we did what we called the brutal cut. And honestly, if something wasn't funny or something wasn't keeping the story moving, we honestly threw it out. We didn't care how long it took to shoot, anything else like that. We just, if it didn't help the movie, we weren't precious about it. And then we tried, and then so we did that for the entire film, and you could then start to see scenes that played much better, or things that you missed that you need to put back in. So that's the healthiest thing, is to just not be precious about whatever you've done, and be brutal with it. And you can always make it tighter in some way.
And also, it's like, it's not like the olden days where it's like once you cut it, it was perma cut.
Yeah, where did it go?
Yeah, like gotta find the little film.
Little scraps.
Yeah, but it's like nowadays you can always undo or try it out in a different sequence. So I think us having seen a lot of films and like critique me section in the forums, or just having seen a lot of student films, I honestly think one of the most common things I personally see is a lot of like long cuts, and I often say like I think you could tighten the cut a little bit more. So I think that's a lesson is that we all have learned over time is everyone starts out leaving a little bit more fat on the edit than it really needs, because you don't want to lose something that you miss, but a lot of times once you do it, things move a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel like being an aggressive editor is something we all kind of go through at a certain point. And that's why, a lot of the film school videos, that's why Joey does such a good job, is because you cut to get the most interesting pieces.
I'll cut out anything that isn't
interesting.
That isn't pushing the lesson forward. Like I'm very brutal with myself with how I edit. Like I wrote way more than I needed to for this last video, and it's still 17 minutes. But it wasn't 30. Does that make sense? Like you and with other people editing interviews, maybe we might do a pro tip on this, but you can condense what people are saying in so many words to a sentence. You can really do that without manipulating what they're saying, because the intention of what they're saying is still there. You're not, but that's what editing is you're making people make sense, as I like to say. Because we're not scripted, right? Yeah, that's all. So you just try and make it
Joe's really good at making people sound good.
Make people sound good.
Yeah,
it's not, speaking isn't easy.
I think we're gonna do you've talked about doing an editing dialogue video for a while, so that's gonna be a really good one.
I hope so. I hope it is. We'll see. I'll have to edit that one.
We did. I saw a question from way long ago, and I'm sorry, I forget which person asked it, but they did ask what are some really good beginner editing programs. And a lot of the ones, like the super basic ones are like iMovie or whatever, but yes, exactly. I was gonna say HitFilm Express. Our friends over at FXHome/HitFilm, they put out this free editing program that is awesome. It's called HitFilm Express. There's a paid version called HitFilm Pro, but it's a fantastic way to learn it, and it's totally professional. And then you can eventually, this industry standards are like Avid or Premiere or Final Cut. A lot of people I knew in high school and college had Final Cut because it came with their computers, but those are all
Shall we
good ways of getting into it.
Should we watch one of these? You want to watch the opening sequence to
Let's watch something.
Let's watch the opening sequence to Touch of Evil, shall we? Let's see here. This one is the studio version with titles and whatnot. We can watch through this, and then we'll watch it again without that. Yeah, we'll do a quick compare and contrast. If you want to see us, here's the thing, because we have these banners on our video, and I feel like that sort of goes against the idea, like the idea of being able to do it. Maybe we should watch like the cross-cutting bits a little bit more, but that's like more in depth. That's like 10 minutes, just to see how the length of time starts to balance itself out.
Trying to think.
What do you guys think?
I don't think we should do the long. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just whatever people. I feel like you get into the opening pretty clearly in the video.
Yeah.
So the cross cutting is a more complicated part. I don't know.
That's the one that you don't really get a taste of.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just answering a few more questions that I can just type out on here.
We could see. Do you want to? What do you guys think? We
Yeah.
really want to know what you guys are interested in.
Well, they might not have seen the video, so it's like, I would say play the cross cutting section, dude.
Should I just do, from the '98 cut, or do you want to see how the two chunks play together?
I think do Wells' version first, and
Okay.
then we can play
The studio version.
the studio version.
Okay.
How
Does that
long
sound
is
good?
How long is each section? Each time, each version.
If I just start it from when the cross cutting starts, they'll probably be like 7 minutes each.
Okay.
Do you guys want to do that?
We'll talk in between,
Okay.
and I'll just kind of. You and I can both. If you want to type answers to things.
Okay. So let me get that set up, and we will check it out.
Sit tight.
So here we go. This will be.
Where's Captain? You wait at the hotel.
Hang tight, guys.
Don't answer that.
We're gonna study some film. I hope you guys go out and try and dig up more of this Orson Welles stuff. I mean, he's obviously a huge influence on a lot of filmmakers. So it's funny. There's always that joke that he was way ahead of his time, and that he, Wells's career now is so respected, but at the time it was, he struggled. He really struggled to make a lot of movies. He always sort of independently financed his own stuff himself. He's a really interesting person to learn about. Okay, enough talking. Let's
Can
do.
you see it? Oh.
You guys want to watch us watch it?
I think we should, because I mean,
Alright. Yeah, it
we
makes
won't,
it-
we won't be distracting. I
Okay.
don't think.
All right. We'll be studying this thing too. Oh shoot, you need some headphones.
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll get a splitter going. All right.
I don't. No, it's okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the Walter Murch
You need a splitter?
version of this, which is split. Yeah, you got it in your drawer.
Yeah, I
right?
gotta get it.
Okay, this will be the Walter Murch cut of 1998. Again, this is just based off of the material that they had. It was so they had the preview version and the release version. The preview version was like a rough cut that they were doing internally, so there were added scenes before they got cut, and that was found in 1976. So based off of those two cuts, he didn't have the raw footage to everything, but he had enough to work with to sort of implement these notes, at least structurally for this first half, which is what we'll be seeing. This is how he wanted the scenes to be cross-cut. And if you haven't seen this whole video, it's up on our channel right now, and it really breaks down the reasoning for editing a film and structuring a film and stuff like that. So it's very fascinating. I'm very into this type of stuff. So
Bazinga!
here we go. Enough talking. Let's start this. Let me know if it's loud enough.
Hey, Doc, here comes the DA. Where's Captain Quinlan?
Got him out of bed at his ranch. He's on his way.
Old Hank must be the only one in the county who didn't hear the explosion. Terrible thing, isn't it? Has the daughter been told?
They're bringing her over right now.
That's
to
right.
identify her father's body.
An hour ago, Rudy Lineker had this town in his pocket.
Now you can strain through a sieve.
Ew. Woof.
I guess that's my father.
Now, Miss Lineker, can you identify the woman?
I'm not acquainted with my father's girlfriends.
Okay, Miss Lineker.
Simpsons does
Well,
like
here
the
comes Hank
bullshit.
at last. Vargas, you've heard of Hank Quinlan, our local police celebrity.
I'd like to meet him. That's what you think. Did they toss it in, or was it planted ahead of time? Who? Whoever did it, you jackass.
Hey, lady, look at the pretty baby.
Mire al niño.
En la calle me llamo Pancho.
My nephew says you call him Pancho. Why? Why you call him Pancho?
Just for laughs, I guess. This note says you have something for my husband.
Yeah? Senor Vargas, eh? You know who I am?
You want me to guess?
My name is Grande.
Oh.
You've heard that name before, hmm?
Aside from the case my husband's been working on, isn't Grandy what that nightclub is called?
Yeah? Yes. Grande's Rancho Grande. My God. Kind of a joke. Get it?
I can't say it's the funniest thing I ever heard.
The name ain't Mexican. I got a permit for this thing. The Grande family is living here in Los Robles a long time. Some of us in Mexico, some of us on this side.
Must be convenient for business.
Yeah? What business?
Grandy business.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know what's wrong with you, Mr. Grandy? You've been seeing too many gangster movies. Mike may be spoiling some of your fun.
Mike?
My husband, yeah. And if you're trying to scare me into calling him off, let me tell you something, Mr. Grandy. I may be scared, but he won't be.
You figure it was a bomb then, Hank?
Well, Chief Rudy Lineker could have been struck by lightning. Where's the daughter?
Marcia, got her right here waiting for you, Hank.
Let her go.
You don't even want to question the daughter?
Let her go and put a tail on her. Oh, Chief, there was some Jane that Rudy Lineker...
just some striptease.
What do you know? The DA. In a monkey suit.
Oh, well, it's...
You, too. You got one of them.
Well, we were all at the banquet.
Political rally.
No, Tootsie's Steakhouse.
Tea-man. Tea-man. Quiet little tea party all for Rudy Lineker's bonfire. Yeah, I hear he even invited some kind of a Mexican.
Oh, I don't think Mr. Vargas claims any jurisdiction.
I should hope not. Two people, Americans, have blown to hash with dynamite practically in my own police station.
I wonder what makes you so very sure it was dynamite?
My leg.
Your what?
His gay leg. Sometimes he gets a kind of a twinge like folks do for a change of weather. Intuition, he calls it.
Vargas has a theory that the murder itself was committed outside of our jurisdiction.
Of course, we're all of us going to cooperate with
Don't
Mr.
worry,
Vargas
Captain.
here.
I'm merely what the United Nations would call an observer.
I don't talk like one, I'll say that for you.
Mexican, I mean. Captain, you won't have any trouble with me.
You bet your sweet life I won't.
As a matter of fact, Mike must be looking for me just about now, and that's bound to mean trouble. What's so funny about that?
Pregúntale si su marido es celoso.
He wants to nerve your husband. Husband is jealous, senora.
You silly little pig.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you, you ridiculous, old-fashioned, jug-eared, lopsided little Caesar.
I didn't get that, senora. You'll have to talk slow.
I'm talking slow, but in a minute I'll start to yell.
I wouldn't do that, senora. Till just a little while ago, this was a quiet, peaceful town here. And now this Vargas comes along and...
Mr. Grandy, you said you had something for my husband. Don't you think it's time you gave it to me?
I think it's time for him to lay off my brother in Mexico City. That's advice. That's what I got for him.
Then the conference is over? I'm free to leave?
Free? Nobody was holding you or keeping you, Mrs. Vargas. Nobody laid a hand on you. You were just paying us a little visit.
Well? Goodbye, all.
Quinlan, we just can't cross over into Mexico like this.
Thousands do every day.
Yeah.
Tourists.
We'll watch this last bit here.
Captain Quinlan wants to check on the girl that was with Lineker in the death car.
I know. She was one of the strip teasers. I think I told you.
Yeah, Pete told me before I left the ranch.
That's right.
And I told him that I wanted to see all the strip teasers in the joint.
This is Mexican territory. What can we do?
There's no law against visitors asking questions, is there, Mr. Vargas? Hey, where'd he go?
Susie, where in the world were you?
Oh, my God. What happened? Just wait till I tell you. The craziest thing.
Who's the Jane?
His wife.
Oh, how do you know? She don't look Mexican either.
Huh. That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
They just cut out the lobby scene entirely because that's wasn't how he wanted it, right? Good. Thanks for watching that with us, guys. Love this movie, by the way. Let's stop it there. All right. Dig up that movie. Please watch the rest of it in your own time. But that is obviously it.
I mean, how do they see that version? Because most likely they.
It plays so much more well balanced.
Yeah.
Because as you said, each scene plays at roughly equal lengths, so you're constantly getting filled in at different moments, or you're keeping track of each person's story. But obviously, you could see where they tried to truncate the thing and play like 5 minutes of one and then 5 minutes of another, and you sort of lose what.
Should we watch the other version right now?
If y'all want, what do you guys think?
I feel like we should, because that's how we're gonna be able to tell the difference.
Okay. All right, I can dig up the other version. Did you see the video, Clint?
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
I learned a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It was cool, man.
Sweet.
I mean, I love every single video you guys do. Honestly, I'm not just saying that.
Aw, dude.
For real, I'm so much more in tune with stuff after like a year of just like watching you guys' videos and stuff.
Oh, we cut out.
How do we? Let me start again.
That just happened?
It says.
I mean, there's like a 30-second delay.
It says stop streaming. Should I just start it again?
Hold on.
Let me just.
It says it's streaming.
It makes you think what was intentional.
What?
It says we're live, but it just says YouTube.
Okay, I'll try it again. Is this gonna give us 2 different streams now? Part 2?
No, but Cherish on the stream. I don't know.
It's okay, I'm just telling them.
Try and refresh it.
I was like so into what you guys were talking about, I audibly was like, no!
Did
This is, yeah.
Do you think it kicked us off because we started watching a movie?
Oh, maybe you got flagged. Oh, look, is it back?
Hey, are we back?
Hold on.
Hey, are we back? I probably just watched this for a second.
Well, sorry about that. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, you're good.
We're back.
All right.
We did it.
Well, Clint's just now joined us. Clint just watched today's video, and what'd you think?
I thought it was great.
Yeah. What stood out to you, or something that did you like anything in particular, or?
It's tough because like they're both right. You know, like you said, they're both going after the same thing.
Yeah.
One is more tastefully done because it's by the director and someone who's been doing it for their entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
The other is by the studio who's, I think, making decisions off of like out of fear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they were afraid of the video essentially, or they were afraid of the movie essentially.
Yeah, they're afraid it wasn't gonna work, or they're afraid
it was just too dark. It was too like.
Yeah.
It was, it was very. Very dark. The material.
One person had a vision with a thing to say, and the other person wanted it to function,
mm-hmm.
and was afraid of maybe it being confusing. Or I've never seen the movie,
right?
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like this interesting. Like I wonder how every movie is made at this point. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's still the same process. I mean, that's what kind of happened with. I mean, Suicide Squad. You guys know just came out.
Yeah.
And so
it's still like the
again,
reshoots. We hear about these reshoots that it's like,
Mm-hmm.
like Rogue One had the reshoots, right? That the rumors were like, they're reshooting a lot of Rogue One.
A lot of times that I would say like reshoots. I mean, one of the points of the video that we did was that sometimes it's the studio's fault, sometimes it's the director's fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not. We're not placing the blame in just one place, really,
Mhm.
because it's different with every situation.
Yeah, so it's certainly you can only imagine that this process is for every film. You know?
And like in give and take on both sides.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's tough.
Especially within the studio type of system because of there's editing by independent, like you call the shots, and then there's like more editing by committee where you have to get things approved by a lot more people.
Yeah.
And how difficult that must be to sort of keep everyone happy. That seems very
Zach Levin
hard.
is saying, I hate it when movie studios try to force a good story into a mainstream film, which sort of ruins it. That's kind of an interesting thing because I feel like, I mean, good story is is the goal for anything, mainstream or independent or anything. So
yeah. I guess cliche.
Maybe you're just saying like,
Maybe.
I don't know. Zach Levin, if you could clarify that.
What did he say again? One more time.
I hate when movie studios try to force a good story into a mainstream film, which sort of ruins it.
I mean, predictable maybe.
Yeah, I guess maybe
Is that what you
Basically,
mean?
I think you're talking about studio involvement. Like, if a studio gets involved and it makes the movie more cookie cutter, more formulaic.
Like force a love story. Was that what you mean? Like force like something that wasn't necessarily there.
Yeah.
I think cookie cutter's a good word.
Formulaic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I know exactly what's gonna happen. Nothing's surprising me because I already know what's gonna happen. And you're not doing anything different, so it's not. You're not posing any new questions.
And again, I think it really. I mean, again, I think the studio gets a lot of flack for a lot of that stuff, but a lot of the times it's like some movies when they come back from the director don't work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And sometimes they. Sometimes reshoots make it better. You know. I've worked on movies.
And that's the other thing too. It's like it's easy to sort of there was a line in there where it's like the intent wasn't to vilify the studio, because it's easy to do that. You know, it's very easy to be like, oh, it's the studio's fault. You know, because the studio is kind of like a corporation in a way. There's no singular one person necessarily responsible for a studio. They're just like this big blanket term that just gets wrapped up in like so many people. So it's easy to just say. To like vilify that as like an entity where you have one singular filmmaker who's basically we only get like his real side and perspective on these changes, you know, but at the same time it's hard to not be biased to that. However, there is obviously conflict, and this conflict has been ongoing since Hollywood started, you know.
I want it this way, no. I want it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a constant clash.
We did get what Zach was saying, so we found it.
Okay, good.
Derek mentions this interesting point where he says, regardless of the edit, whether it is interfered with, it should always start with the script. If a studio signs off on a script, do they have the authority to change it later?
That's a good question.
If it's a studio movie, yeah.
In this case, this intercutting that was happening in Touch of Evil was in the script, and that's how. So it's sort of baffling to your point. Is like they signed off on it. They knew what was up. They knew what they were filming the whole time. They were seeing the dailies come in, and they liked everything that they saw until they saw it all put together. In this case, so it's just hard to say in terms of how the rest of films go.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, my point with, yes, it always starts with a good script. And I think a lot of what's hard about a lot of studio movies nowadays is that studios don't give writers enough time to write a good script. So you're already kind of shooting yourself in the foot with that kind of aggressive deadline. That being said, I'm a producer. I like to empathize with the business side of things because, again, there's no money, then none of us can do this. So, it's the hardest thing about film is it's a business and an art form.
Yeah. So
there are people who are always going to represent the side that is giving you the money. You know, it's like hundreds of millions of dollars. So find your middle ground, and business people should always be respectful, I think, of the creative process, which a lot of people aren't. So
yeah,
I think it's just like it should be collaboration. Really, it's just communication. Like, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's where you're at. Here's where you're thinking. Put each other in each other's shoes. Okay, how can we do this? How can we make the best movie possible? Because we both want to make the best movie.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And communication is really hard sometimes.
Yeah. When people have different visions, then you really start to see the gloves come off, or feelings get hurt and passions get. You want to all be on the same page throughout the script to the edit. If you're not, then this type of stuff happens. A lot of bad blood. I mean, Fantastic Four was like the most famous recent blow up between a director and a. He sort of disowned his film based off of what they had done with that.
Yeah.
Was that Whedon?
It wasn't Whedon.
No,
it
who
was
was it?
Begins with a T. I can find it.
Do we all remember the
Josh Trank?
Trank, yes, yes. He.
They're talking about him in the thing because he was supposed to do the Boba movie.
Oh right, yes.
And he didn't.
You guys already know. Yes, that's very much still relevant, and this thing happens a lot.
Yeah.
That's
so
why you don't
I
burn
guess
those bridges, man.
Yeah, and I would say if there's a lot of people in here who want to be filmmakers, and we're learning this as we go too. It's don't villainize the business side of filmmaking, because they're in the best situations. They're going to be your partners, and they're going to help you out, and they're going to be collaborators with whom you can make movies. So don't. Because I see a lot of people in here who are like, talking about Josh Trank and stuff, which I get it. A lot of times that does happen. It's hard. It's really, really heartbreaking. But don't start your careers off with villainizing those people, because they're there because they want to make good movies too. And they want to make money. And good movies make money. Good stories make money. Yeah. So
sometimes you gotta do the show and do the business and play ball. Sometimes you do gotta step into that big mainstream ring. I mean, sometimes you got to do a little dance.
Yeah. It's a push and pull.
It's a push and pull.
And I think we've all had, we've really believed in the art, and then had our hearts broken a little bit too. That is part of learning and being better. Yeah. Anyway, this is about film now.
It's about winding down for our Thursday here. Any other questions? We'll tango.
Yeah, Kevin Ayers says it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Please, if you haven't, check out the full movie, other things like that. Any other questions, we'll answer them.
Do you want to wrap it up?
Should we start? I think we should start wrapping up. Unless there's any other questions that you have out there that we didn't catch.
There's a ton.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Thursday.
I think we should call it. I think we'll call it, guys. It's been an hour and 7 minutes. But what I will say is there's so many questions in here that were so good that we didn't get to more about music editing and just really good stuff about the edit process. So, frankly, I would love it if you guys went to our forums. I don't know how to point.
Oh.
There it is. Discuss.rocketjump.com. I did it. We're nailing it.
Right there?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, right here.
It's right there.
It's right there. Okay.
Yeah. So go there, discuss.rocketjump.com. Ask your questions in the forums. Okay, you're making a weird face.
Yeah, I made the weird face.
You're making a weird face.
What?
If it's about editing, you can @Joey. It's @Joey Scoma. If it's trailers, producing, anything about the industry, you can @me, @Cherish. I love talking about that stuff. We've been super busy, but we will. If you tag us, it usually increases our odds of seeing your post a little bit clearer. And you can @Clint, and he just what do you like talking about, Clint?
I like talking about VFX, directing, music, just what kind of music you guys into. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just shoot the shit.
Rock climbing, whatever you guys.
Rock climbing. Do you guys rock climb? Get out there, stay active.
By the time they see that they were gonna
eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
Brush your teeth.
Eat your vegetables. Brush your teeth.
Go to bed on time.
Yeah.
Alex wants to do a screenshot.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Wait. I'm responding to somebody.
3, 2.
Wait, was that it?
Do we do it?
Do a couple.
Oh no.
Why am I blue? I'm just gonna get rid of this.
Because the monitor.
It's the monitor. Oh my god.
All right.
Now we don't know.
All right.
Okay, we're doing it in 3, 2, 1.
What does this even mean?
Do we do it? I hope we got it.
I did some weird
All right, I turned off the monitor so I wouldn't listen
Hey,
to
wait,
it.
let's do one where we all frown.
All right.
Last one.
All right, I'm turning off the monitor again.
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay, 3,
Okay.
2, 1. Frown.
You smiled. I smiled too. You're doing it.
Okay,
now.
a serious frown. Okay,
All right,
1,
serious frown.
1, 2,
Serious
3, frown.
I turned it off.
I felt like
Okay.
a fish. I felt like a fish.
All right, I think we're done.
We got a lot.
Hey, if you guys like this, just sit down in front of the computer. Let us know too.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you guys like this?
If this worked for you, we like
Questions?
just straight up just being right here with y'all. So if this works for you, let us know too.
Okay, fine. Spark Shark really wants us to answer the question Shrek 4 or Shark Tales. I didn't see either, so I can't help you.
Sorry.
Well, okay. Shall we sign off?
Bye.
Thanks everyone.
See you next week.
Have a good stuff.